Hey, good morning, Rob.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's good. I had a good night's sleep last night. Ready to get the rest of this day started. Just so y'all know, we get here like at 4 o'clock in the morning. Start doing trades, and then take a break to come in here and talk to y'all and get your comments about what we can do to improve ourselves, as well as giving us comments on what the things that we say. And Rob, I don't know if you knew this or not, but you do. But central banks now, they've been purchasing gold at rates that we haven't seen since 1967,
Yeah.
when the US dollar still had some official gold backing. And concerns about inflation and devalued financial reserves have actually renewed interest in the yellow metal, as nations now are looking for ways to diversify their holdings. And there's also this continued carnage in the crypto markets, even.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
Bankman looks like he has agreed to be extradited back to the United States, right? I guess he's tired of that hole in the wall or bucket. I can't imagine having to sit down and squat on a bucket. You have to sit on a bucket to do your business, and rats running all over the place, probably taking the cheese that you get fed or something. I don't know.
I mean, he's been there for what, a couple days now? Can't hack it.
No, you ain't gonna be able to hack it in the U.S. either. I'll tell you that right now. If you think, I mean, at least they have Johns, from what I understand, but there's overcrowding.
Yeah.
But he'll probably get put in, what do they call that? Like witness protection, or not?
Not witness protection. Yeah, I know what you're talking about though. Like
They separate them
where
from.
the really bad people are at.
Yeah,
And then minors. What is it? Misdemeanors.
I don't know, but they'll put him away
They're
somewhere
not
safe.
basically they're not going to put him with the goons.
But they did Epstein. Look at Epstein. But he wasn't here in. Yeah, was that? Yeah, New York, right?
I'm not sure.
Wherever that
I wasn't
was.
really following.
But anyway, he like hung himself.
That's allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, oh, that's right. Well, that's what they say. But maybe Bankman fraud will do that. I don't know.
Who knows?
Are they going to get her, you think?
I mean, normally doesn't it take several months for somebody to be extradited from the Bahamas to the U.S.? He's gotten it done within like a week. It's been really fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm of the point of view that when he comes to the U.S., they'll be very lenient on him. They might even give him house arrest or something along those lines. So I think that when he gets here, they're just going to be very, very lenient on him.
Well, isn't our metals like going up really a lot today, right?
Yeah.
The precious metals.
Yeah. Gold's up $35 today.
Yeah.
Palladium
Over 1,800.
over 1,800.
Silver.
Silver
Over 20, up
20, 24,
over
25.
24.
Yep.
Going to 25.
Yep.
Palladium.
Oh, ripping faces.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's up $83 today.
Yeah. Palladium, and then platinum. Platinum's even up.
Yeah.
All of them are up across the board. What's the actual market at right now? Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing at this moment.
Last time I checked, it was pretty flat.
Yeah, still are. I mean, they're actually up 100 points on the Dow exchange at about 73, and the Nasdaq at 24. They need to have a day of resurrection. They need one day of resurrection because, man, they've been getting beat up.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people losing a lot of money out the window.
That's true.
Trillions of dollars going out the window. But anyway, that being said, you guys know our number. It's 800-753-8534. Again, that's 800-753-8534. Now, that calls into a call center. Or you can call me direct at 323-380-5485, or you can call Rob at his number at 213
466 1283.
466-1283. And we'll guide you along the way on like how you can go about protecting yourself. And I know you get tired of hearing that, but you got to pound it in. And there's a lot of people out there that haven't found us yet. So if you stumble across us, like us, rumble us, YouTube us, whatever it is called out there, because we're on several platforms. And Rob and I just walked into the new space back there. Man, it's looking nice.
Yeah, it's looking really good. They're almost done too.
We got polished marble floors that lead into a nice carpeted studio with. It looks pretty sharp in there.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
It's gonna come out nice.
Cannot wait. Well, Rob, there's a new study, and that study is it pays. Listen to this. I never heard of this kind of study, but it pays not to work.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is no exception. It's the rule. And a new study explains why the unemployment rate remains low, and yet there are over 3 million people less in the workplace than there was in 2020. And you know what the reason is? It pays not to work.
Yeah.
People are being paid not to work. And this, my friends, this is the socialist way. And a new study points this out. In fact, a new study by the Committee to Unleash Prosperity economists Casey Mulligan and Erwin Antoni and Stephen Moore finds that the government payments and free health care benefits can pay more than the annual equivalent of a $100,000 job in the states and the equivalent of a $80,000 a year job in 13 states.
Holy crap!
What? And the national average of unemployment and Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare, subsides for a family of 4 with 2 parents receiving UI benefits is the equivalent of more than $60,000 a year in cash benefits. I want to stop right there because I got a note today from Blue Shield telling me that my insurance is going up another $100 this year.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, you know why our insurance is going up? Because they're giving a free insurance to all these illegal immigrants and all this other Obamacare that's out there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So this study, authors conclude that these high benefits are a major reason that the labor force participation is at or near a record low today, and that there are still at least 3 million fewer Americans working today than before COVID. And adding to the problem, the authors conclude is that most of the landmark work requirements, already getting a text, landmark work requirements in the 1996 Welfare Reform Bill have now been removed, and so workers are slower to get back on the job when they lose a job. And the 3 states that offer benefit packages of more than 100,000, listen to this: Washington, New Jersey, and Massachusetts.
Wow.
More than $100,000. And this study also finds in several states, even families with incomes above $400,000 a year, listen to this, Rob, can be eligible for taxpayer subsidized health care coverage.
Makes sense why they notified you. They're tacking on an extra $100.
I'm calling them today.
This is ridiculous.
It's crazy. So this new study, welfare pays more than work in many states. So no wonder the people are at home working on their ass, sitting in their homes, and not actually out there working. Just sitting on their ass, I meant to say. So guess what? You, me, the average American taxpayer, we're footing the bill for all of this. And that's what I'm talking about. It's crazy. I'm going to call today. I'm going to call my insurance company. I got to find, because that's just getting crazy. I pay $1,200 a month for insurance for a single person.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, and that ain't even the deduct. I still got to pay a deductible. But if I cross the border and I become if I was an illegal alien, I get free insurance.
Hey.
So think about it. Those that are out there that have cancer, you just die. But an illegal alien out there, well, he'll get free insurance.
He'll get the best coverage.
Oh, yeah. He'll also get a cell phone. He'll get everything. But I understand that Title 42 has been blocked now by Supreme Justice Roberts. He's blocked it temporarily. So God, let's hope that we can stop the flow of. But they're still gonna. I saw them getting in sewers and coming out manholes in the cities and shit.
Really?
Yeah, they're like freaking rats.
Wow.
Rats in the cracks. They're getting away through the cracks. Rats can just get through the cracks.
Yeah, it's unprecedented.
That's what these guys are doing. That's what these immigrants are doing.
It's funny. It's I'm not a listener of Sean Hannity. I don't like the guy. It just bugs me. But he was right when he was saying that they were going to make the U.S., the United States, Venezuela, or some third world country. Dude, he saw that coming from a mile away. He was spot on with that comment.
I'm not kidding you. I was watching a video the other day, and they had this video, and they saw, and these aliens, these illegal aliens, migrants, whatever you want to call them, illegal people, right? They were going through the sewers and then coming up through the manholes. Yeah. Like you see those manholes in the street?
Yeah, yeah.
All of a sudden you see the top. It was like a rat.
That's unbelievable.
Coming out through a crack. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I mean, call them what they are. They're illegal migrants, or
And these are not good people. A lot of them.
Some of them are not. Some of them are. Some of them. The bottom line is this. Do it the right way, right?
Right.
Get your visa or whatever the process is. Just do it the right way. And, it's interesting because I used to date this chick who was Chilena, so she was directly from Chile. I met her here because she was studying English as a second language back when I was living in D.C. And she was telling me her country, it's the same problem that we have here in the U.S., that you have people from other countries like Nigeria, Venezuela, Colombia, just, migrating to Chile and really just, overpopulating it, bringing in criminals. So it's not only happening here, it's happening in other countries as well. But, we see how it's really affecting our healthcare system, how it's affecting our economy, and it's creating a lot more danger. You have, sex trafficking of minors. It's fucking ridiculous, to be honest with you. It's unprecedented.
It's really crazy. It's crazy. And, we were just talking about people not working and how they're getting paid more welfare by not working.
Yeah.
So the Mises Institute wrote this article, and I found it, and it was just written a couple of days ago, and it's titled "Men Not at Work."
Yeah,
men like you and me,
yeah.
Full-grown men, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to just state it to you what Robert Arrow wrote, and the Mises Institute is the one that actually supported this article. So this is according to the Mises Institute. And they say that in the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC, meeting of the year, the Fed did what everyone knew they would, and they actually raised the rates.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they, but Japan last night raised the rates, and that's what's going on right now in the world. But anyway, then they proceeded with the usual Fed speak dance. Now, this comes from the Mises Institute regarding projections for the upcoming year, including inflation and our rate hikes. And he goes on, and they say that the labor market doesn't normally garner as much attention, but Chair Powell made several statements worthy of consideration. And according to Powell, things couldn't be better in his own words. In fact, he says this, quote, "I've made it clear that right now that the labor market's very, very strong, near a 50-year low when you're at or above maximum employment. In 50-year low in unemployment, vaccines are very high. Wages, nominal wages are very high. So the labor market's very, very strong." And the Mises Institute, Robert Arrow goes on, he says, "It reads as a classic comedy of errors. The figurehead of the Politburo sitting comfortably atop his ivory tower, having not the slightest inkling nor care for the very thing he is charged with. His conviction comes from the diligent work of handsomely paid statisticians whose job is to assure him and by extension the public that everything is awesome. And when a reporter questioned unemployment projections, whether the Fed is seeing signs that the labor market isn't quite as strong as we think it is, here's what Powell insisted. Listen to this. No, it's not about the strength of the labor market. The labor market is clearly very strong. What the hell, Robert?
So convoluted.
No, it's not about the strength of the labor market. When the reporter asked him, seeing signs that labor market isn't quite as strong as we think it is, Powell insisted, no, it's not about the strength of the labor market. The labor market is clearly very strong. Rob, what the hell?
Hey,
are they trying to use hypnosis? Are they just being stupid? Are they just like don't care? Sounds like he just doesn't care.
Yeah. I mean, it could be all those factors, but the bottom line is this, he cannot say that we have a crumbling or weak labor market. He can't say that we're headed towards a massive recession.
No, wait. That's exactly right. Listen to what CBS comes out. So CBS News posted the question that many was wondering. Why have so many American men given up on work? And citing stats of their own, roughly 1 in 9 men ages 25 to 54, an individual's prime working years, are out of the labor market today. That compared to 1 in 50 in the mid-1950s. And an Austrian would never profess to know, what Robert says, what the ideal number of men in the workforce should be. But the decline in people's desire to work is concerning. Stranger still contrasts Powell's talk of a strong labor market with that of a labor shortage. If, for example, that were simply no job vacancies, perhaps it would make it even more sense. But this is opposite, and we're being told jobs are available, plentiful even, yet simultaneously people just aren't going to work.
Yeah.
So Powell haphazardly calculates the labor shortage and explains. Listen to this, and quote. So what I meant by that with the structural labor shortage is, if you look at where we are now, as I mentioned there, if you just looked at demand for labor, if you looked at vacancies plus people who are actually working, and then you can take supply of labor by are you in the labor market? He says you can take, and then you can take supply of labor by are you in the labor market? Are you looking for a job? Or do you have a job and you're more than 4 million people short? What the hell? So it's easy to criticize that the Fed for not understanding inflation and interest rates or the boom-bust cycle that they cause. But we must also remember that they have little to no understanding of unemployment. Mm-hmm. It's evident, it's obvious that Powell don't have a effing clue of unemployment.
Yeah.
Or he would not have said that on his ivory bench that he speaks out of his side of his mouth. But you got to remember, this guy is an ex-attorney. He was an attorney. So attorneys are meant to lie. They're taught to lie in school. Anyway, listen to this, what the Mises says. As for the continual disappearance of working age men, what are they doing? Where have they gone? Is anyone's guess. And in the midst of this, nowhere did the market distortion of $5 trillion in the Fed's balance sheet expansion come into discussion. But since 2020, it never has, and don't expect that it ever will. Wow. This is what the Mises Institute wrote about Powell. So look, what they're telling us is These guys aren't telling us the truth.
Right.
That's what I got from
And
that.
they don't understand what
They don't understand.
Yeah.
So, folks, when they tell us that inflation, we're going to feel more pain and everything else, guess what? They're only telling half the truth.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to be prepared. We want to make sure that we get ourselves protected so that when things like blind, psychic, Baba Vanga, I got to share this with you guys. Rob, I sent this to you yesterday. So this came from the Daily Mail. And this is a real person. I did my homework on this. I fact-checked and checked before no, baby, we're not going yet. So there's this blind psychic, and her name is Baba Vanga. Look it up yourself, Vanga. And she predicted 2022 droughts and 9/11. And she warned that we could expect a nuclear explosion and a bioweapon test on humans in 2023. So I'm going to share this with you because when I felt it, I felt like I got to check this out. And then I started looking into it, and it's like this woman's not even alive, and she predicted this stuff kind of like Nostradamus. And I want to share this with you. So a blind psychic who correctly predicted the 9/11 attacks and claimed that cities would face water shortage from droughts in 2022, claimed that we could expect bioweapon tests next year. Known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, Baba Vanga, who died 25 years ago in 1996, aged 84, remind you, who died 25 years ago in 1996, aged 24, made 5 terrifying prophecies for 2023 before her death. Let me just show you a quick picture of Baba Vanga. Here's Baba Vanga, blind. All right? So they call her the Bulgarian mystic who left predictions for every year up until 5079, envisioned a disastrous solar storms. Well, guess what's happening right up there right now? We're having tons of solar storms right now. Bioweapons testing on humans. Vaccinations. Earth's orbit to shift. Guess what? That's what's in the news. A nuclear explosion and an end to natural births in 2023.
Natural birth?
Natural births.
Oh my goodness! Didn't what's your face post about the new synthetic womb that just came out?
Talk about it. Yeah.
Well, I didn't read it because it was pretty far out there, but
yeah, but she's saying these things.
we have a colleague here from our processing department that said the company's called Ectolife. Ectolife. They've actually created the world's first artificial womb facility that's already working. So
yeah, they got like hundreds of them.
Hundreds of synthetic babies being born right now. These are legitimate.
This is insane.
I mean, these are
wombs that are
harvesting.
It's like
children.
It's like watching one of those space sci-fi movies.
I know.
And they're like harvesting their aliens.
Yeah.
Right. But instead they're harvesting children.
You know, I mean, these are real kids being harvested inside of a synthetic womb.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy. She called this 25 years ago.
Yeah. So Vanga predicted that a big country, Robert, listen to this, that a big country will carry out bioweapon studies on humans, which would result in the death of thousands and thousands of people. Wow. All right, interesting. And however, the Biological Weapons Convention of the United Nations bans these types of experiments from being carried out. Now, Baba, who correctly predicted the Chernobyl disaster, she even predicted that, also warned of a potential nuclear power plant explosion in 2023. And this eerie prediction comes as world leaders right now are worrying about a nuclear disaster in Ukraine. And just last month, powerful explosions shocked the area around Ukraine's nuclear power plant, with the United Nations Atomic Energy Chief calling the Russian war on Ukraine extremely disturbing. And Baba also now has predicted that next year the Earth would experience a change in its orbit somehow, although the details of such were not given. And every year the Earth travels 584 million miles around the sun. However, orbit can shift slightly due to gravitational forces of other planets. And although shifting is in such a radical way in just a year would be devastating for our environment, as it would lead to soaring temperatures, rising sea levels, and radiation levels. Is that climate change?
I mean, it kind of sounds like climate change.
Kind of, sort of, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
So the arrival of a solar storm of a magnitude never before witnessed on planet Earth is another terrifying prophecy. And solar storms could cause mass blackouts and communication breakdowns, causing a slew of problems.
What exactly is a solar storm?
A solar storm is like when stars explode, different things that cause look it up. I'm not a physicist or anything like that, but I was going to go into this other article where they're talking about in 2081 where they're talking about these solar storms. But solar storms will occur. Here's what a solar storm is. It's when a burst of energy is released from the sun, sending electrical charges in these magnetic fields and radiation hurtling toward the Earth.
Oh, wow.
That's what a solar storm is. And we've had, if you notice in the news a lot lately, we've had these solar flashes that could lead into solar storms. So she may be on. And another frightening prediction she has is that the natural human birth will be prohibited by the government. You hear that?
Well, what's that?
These are just predictions, y'all. That natural human births will be prohibited by government.
Well, yeah, we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot in China, right, where you're only allowed to have one child or something like that, or two children. Yeah, I mean it's happening already.
So the outlandish scenario. It's almost. What's that movie that was on Hulu? The one that had the babies and they had this organization and then
Handmaid's Tale.
The Handmaid. Sounds like that.
It's crazy.
This is crazy. Holy moly! Where the men, they have this certain government of men, and they raise these women, and oh my God, what would happen to the non-binary drag queens? They just die.
Yeah, they'd kill them off.
They'd kill them off. Wow. Anyway, the outlandish scenario would occur when a government officials allegedly push for the lab-grown production of all human lives and restrict natural birth. And it goes on, it says, and leaders and medical experts would be able to decide who is born, while parents would be able to customize their traits and appearance. I want my child to have blonde hair, long eyelashes. Oh, geez.
Well, they've been doing that. I mean, you could, whenever you're having children, they can alter.
What, you make your baby look? Yeah.
They can alter the eye color,
hair color, eye color. Yeah.
I think they've been doing that for the past 5 or 7 years.
Well, you know what she did too? She previously warned that large cities would face drought due to rising temperatures in 2022. Well, that's happening
already. Yeah.
And
it's pretty spot on.
Now, remember, this is years ago, 25 years ago.
Wow, who is this lady?
And the prediction appeared to have some weight in it because earlier this year, it was reported that Kent residents were issued a water warning for essential use only. And the locals were warned by Southeast Water to reduce their water use as a heightened demand and sweltering temperatures had already moved the country to what they call a red status.
Wow.
And then here's a few pictures that they're showing of these particular
areas of drought.
Yeah, where they're at right now. It's crazy. So this warning, anyway. So I'm just reading. So it goes on. Some of her other predictions for 2022 haven't stood up so far after she claimed that the world would see terrifying events, including deadly tsunamis and another pandemic. So some of the things. But it's funny how she predicts these things. And luckily, no major tsunamis have hit shorelines so far. However, the COVID-19 pandemic does seem to be gathering momentum again. I keep hearing more and more about it. Yeah. So we've also seen this outbreak with monkeypox around the world. However, it's failed to cause any real public problems. It was just like in the gay community or something, right? And this psychic claimed that she had a rare gift from God. She got this gift from God that helped her see into the future after losing her eyesight at the age of 12. Wow. And she's been previously correctly predicted the Russian invasion of Ukraine, as well as the 9/11 attacks in New York City. And she even terrifyingly once claimed in a 1979 interview that Russia was to dominate the world and that President Vladimir Putin is to become Lord of the world. This is what she says. And she also made a prediction about World War III and the potential use of the nuclear weapons. I sure hope she's wrong.
Yeah, seriously.
God. And during the interview with writer Valentin Sidorov, she said that Putin's glory will remain untouched. And she said, all will fall as if ice, only one remain untouched, Vladimir's glory of Russia. All will be removed by her from the way, and not only will be kept, but also become the Lord of the world.
Wow.
And it's claimed that during her 50-year career, she also predicted the coronavirus pandemic, Chernobyl disaster in Ukraine in 1986, and the death of Princess Diana in 1997. Wow. She also correctly predicted that the 44th U.S. President, Barack Obama, would be the first to be black, although she didn't say he would be the very last. She says the wolves will be howling in a bush and innocent blood will be gushing. Wow, this lady's scaring me. But she grew up in this farm in Macedonia, and she became blind after being dragged into a tornado when she was young.
Oh, shit.
With believers saying this was a freak accident and what gave her her second sight. Baba Vanga. Check that woman out.
I know. She sounds like a cool lady.
Anyway, I just want to share that. Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine getting pulled into a tornado and losing your sight?
No, that's terrifying.
Poor lady. But she has a lot of it correct.
Yeah.
But, not only did she get the coronavirus and the pandemic correct, but so did the you know who I'm talking about, Schwab.
Yeah.
When they ran those, maybe they listened to her or something, and they ran those exercises pre-pandemic,
right,
to get people prepared for a pandemic. Maybe they're listening to Baba Vanga, to her stories. You got anything you want to say?
No, it's some nutty stuff.
It's crazy. Scared you?
No, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
I never heard of this lady, but yeah, spot on. We'll call her Mrs. Spot On.
Yeah, Baba Vanga. Anyway, listen, good talking to you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Going to go back to the floor now. Give us a call, 800-853-7534. Call into the call center, 323-380-5485. Or just call into Rob at
213